And welcome back. No, I'm not deafened. You're going to see some decidedly a lot more average gameplay out of me for this, but today I am kind of going back to my prop roots. I got into this game because I like props, World War II combat. The jet stuff is a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but I can't stand top tier. So I've been playing, just been going back and finding unspaded gems, finding unplayed gems in the tech tree. And if you've been watching any of this channel before, this is where is it? This Tata's right here is probably my favorite prop in the game. Possibly, it is definitely one of my most played vehicles in all of War Thunder. And I really like it. And what I found, obviously there are some Ki-61s in the tech tree, but I found this one actually has an air spawn. It is technically an interceptor. Well, why does it get an interceptor spawn? It gets an interceptor spawn because the climb rate. I'll let the guy drive by. Because the climb rate is absolutely abysmal. And you're like, well, why would you play it if the climb rate's awful? Well, all the Ki-61's climb rates are pretty terrible, but they're still worth playing. The reason why you play them, and the Tata's even has a worse climb rate, even fully spaded, you play them because they're just fantastic to fly. Like, they don't turn on a dime like Zeros, and they're slow still. They're still a Japanese prop. They're still slow, but for whatever reason, I just do well in them. I think it's because they're a combination of like BF 109 and Zero and Spitfire, and it just kind of a mishmash that just works for me. The guns are really good. It feels like an Italian fighter with the guns, especially the 50 cals. These 50 cals hit hard, dude. I don't know why, but these air target belts hit hard, and you also have the 20 mils too, and it's got a pretty decent amount of ammo for both. But I don't know, it's just, sometimes you find a plane or model of plane that just vibes, you just vibe with. And for me, that's the Kawasaki 61s. The climb rate is better than the stat card would indicate. So don't rule it out and play it. And it's a lot of fun. And so I got a couple games for you here today. We're going to take it out and we're going to see what we can do with it. Here we go. Let's take it out. This will be a 6-kill game I show you. I'm going to call it a 7-kill game mainly because there is one maneuver kill in there where a guy trying to dodge my shots puts it in the ground. So I'm calling it a 7-kill game. But here we go. We have been climbing. We've reached 5,000 meters, which with WEP and on a cold map, pretty achievable. I think I went 15 degrees and then 10 degrees, and then I started leveling out at 5,000 meters. As at this point, I'll have the altitude and I want the speed, and so if anyone's above me, I want them to think that they can boom and zoom me, and if anybody's below me, I want to be able to catch them. Thought about going after that Yak 9. He's pretty juicy, but that's the first target that I see that looks available, and I don't want to lose my altitude yet. Same thing with this P-51. P-51, I was going to go for him, but he dives out. Again, I don't want to dive out too soon. There's a lot of, and he's diving on a Ki-44. I thought the Ki could handle it. Then there's a group of 3 or 4 there that dive out. Wyvern's diving out. And what I'm realizing is like, wow, I'm going to be the highest plane in the sky except for friendlies. So finally go ahead and pick this P-63, which is a really great vehicle for the BR. So I want him out of the match. Go ahead and start angling towards him. Thought he'd want to mix it up. He's pretty slow. He's been climbing. But I'm gaining on him. As I said, I'm burning about the first 1,000 meters of my climb to catch up to him. Checking my 6. And, again, one of the premium P-63s. It's a really good one. Managed to get some distance shots on him. I don't know if he was just not ready for me to be shooting or what. Maybe he was looking for the XP50 to be jumping in, but click him out of the sky pretty quick. For me, it's a little bit more of a hold down the mouse click to get him out of the sky. I wanted to make sure he was out. So we angle back in towards the remaining force. As you can see, there's like kind of 2 groups of their fighters, and they're pretty much all below us. So I've got a friendly XP50 up with me, and I think one other friendly up there. So at this point, I'm looking at like 7 or 8 of them down there, and I know I can't rush this. We're going to have to be smart. I want to really see who comes up to try and attack me. Some of those are I-16s, which can turn with me. I don't want to be tangled up with them. XP50's on the Wyvern. I can ignore him for now, or keep him in view, but he's being engaged. He's being pushed down. The Wyvern can climb up to us pretty easily, so he's one of the biggest issues. Otherwise, they look pretty happy to ground pound, which is fine. I want to see who's not ground pounding, who's going to come up to try and attack me. So I've got 2 I-16s to deal with. This guy kind of seems interested, maybe, maybe not. Seeing he's pretty close, I want to see what he does. And then I've got the other I-16 over there. And I think that one, the one I've got highlighted right there, is going to go after my XP50. He ends up diving out, being aware, and this guy starts climbing, so rudder's locking up a little bit. Managed to kind of rake those rounds over him, get a severe damage, and the I-16 had turned towards me, so I'm just going to put a little space. Wyvern, you always hear the Wyverns, you want to keep an eye on him. He could have probably come up and tried to engage me, forced a head-on or something like that, but I'm still paying attention to this I-16. He's taking some pot shots. Just going to circle over the top of him. Here we go, angling down. He's stalled out now. And luckily he sort of acts as like a shield between me and that P-47. That P-47 was spraying at me. I do rip my flaps off. That's unfortunate. I thought they would be put away sooner. But that P-47 probably could have a better shot at me, but the I-16 being completely hanging in the air like that almost shielded me from it. So anyways, we go back up. We start looking for the next victim. Wyvern is still all over my radar because, again, he can just sort of zoom climb up to us pretty easy, and I don't want him there. The XP50 takes out the 0, so I'm going to protect my XP50. I'm going to go after this I-185 as he chases my XP50. He kind of notices, I think, at this point, he's trying to get some distance between me and him. Again, some more long-range shots. Manages to take off his wing. Severe damage. Let him put it in the ground. Protect my XP50. And then we go back up. XP50, really good player in the same match. Was doing the same thing I was, which is just not making them come up to us. Like, you don't want to, if you have the energy advantage, if you have the altitude advantage, don't go down and dogfight with them. Boom and zoom them and go back up. So at this point we have 3 more planes coming in. This guy's hyper focused on my XP50, so I just pilot snipe him. So now we're down to 2 Russian planes, a Yak-9 and LA-5. LA-5 is coming up for me. He got a little closer than I wanted him to, but he just is not going to have the speed for that. He doesn't have the energy to get up there. So now I'm on his 6, and he is focused on the B7A2. So I switch over to the Yak-9T. Slot in behind him. Not quite able to get, I'm just compressing, not able to get over it. I don't want to put it in the ground, but he does put it in the ground. That's my maneuver kill. I don't know what happened with the B7A2. I guess the LA-5 got him. LA-5 at this altitude has a lot of engine power, so I'm going to create some space. It's not, I know he's going to catch me, but I want to create some space. I want to create some altitude because I'm going to need the altitude to be able to defensively maneuver. I know I can't get him off my stick. I'm just trying to get a little space, trying to get away from that P-47. He's going to slowly reel me in, so I'm waiting to watch to see if he takes any pot shots at me. I got enough energy, enough altitude, so we're going to go defensive. He's just not able to pull it around. Go up, go over, start slotting in behind him. He's going up now. Almost got it around there. Go back up again. Don't want to angle to the right. I want to stay almost directly on him. Might have got a shot here. Didn't really. Probably could have angled that better, but at this point he can't do anything. I'm on a 6. Like, there's just, he's not going anywhere. Got the hit, got the crit. Probably should have saved these rounds and see if he was going to put it in the ground. Instead I burn them all up, and now I got 2 RTB. But either way, that's 7 kills by my book, 6 per the game. Got an RTB, got to reload. By the time we get taken back off, we lose on tickets. Awesome. But yeah, that was a good game. Kind of shows off its capabilities. Energy fighting, boom and zoom, while also having a really nice turn rate too as well. Alright, next game. You can see I've hit 5,600 meters. Really reasonable with that air spawn, really easy to do. You can, especially on the maps where you already have some elevation already. At this point, I'm pretty much above the enemy team, just trying to figure out what I want to go for. I'm looking at the T154 and the Yak-9. I'm thinking at this time that the BF-109 in the distance is actually heading away from me. So I'm trying to pick which one do I want to go for. Looks like the XP50's got it. Look up again, and this 109 is definitely heading towards me now. So I'm going to take that speed I just built up, turn towards him. We're going to engage him. We're going to do a little merge, pop off a little burst in his direction. He flies right into it. Saved me a good bit of time there. He's just going to crash out. So then I can direct my attention right back down to what I was looking at before, which is the Yak-9 and the 154. I kind of want to keep my XP50 alive if I can. He's dragging him further and further down. I'm looking around, seeing who I want to go for. I really have my choice at this point. There's 3v1. They're all low. I think there's no one else up here. So this guy's the next highest enemy that's closest to me. Kind of just spiral over the top of him as I start my boom and zoom, cut my throttle. We just kind of dive into trying to stay quiet. Just compress too much to get any sort of shots on, although I'm only going 500. At this point, we go into a little defensive scissors. He does not have the energy I have, which is, so I just kind of up over his nose. He sends a little protest shot after me at this point. Just throw those flaps in. Hammerhead over the top of him. Don't want to rip my flaps, so I start bringing them in, but I do have the energy here to make this shot. Pull it in, pull in, pull in, pull in. And take him out. I want to definitely do that quickly for Yak because he's just going to have out engine power me. I see the 154 coming in at me. Do a little dodging. Do a little defensive scissors with him. I hear him cut his engine. He's hoping for an overshoot, so I cut my engine and let him fly into my guns here. Take his tail off right there. So that's three kills pretty quick. Just keep your head on a swivel, keep looking around. Understand when you dive in, you gotta keep paying attention to everything that was around you. They're not gonna just disappear because you decided to pick a target. I would like to say that I'm really good at that, but sometimes I get, focused in like everybody else does. So we're going to jump ahead a little bit. After that fight, I've been kind of just heading away, trying to get some altitude. I think I'm climbing at like 10 degrees, and this Yak-3 just has been staying on my tail. He's running me down. He's obviously going to have a better engine. That's the one thing about the Ki-61. They're not very fast. They're typical Japanese planes. So I'm just kind of gaining altitude, letting him reel me in slowly as I prepare to make a dodge. So here we go. Gonna pick up the last little bit of speed here, turn that altitude into energy. Give him a good dodge there. I've definitely got, I almost blew it right there by prematurely turning. He almost stayed right behind me, but eventually I do force an overshoot in this defensive scissors. He's just not able to outturn this. I'm probably cutting these a little too short. I probably should let him get a little further out in front of me before I pull in, but we're still making progress. Trying to really tighten up these circles with flaps. Ended up blowing one off, I think. But at this point, I'm kind of behind him, and his engine power is actually working against him. So I'm just kind of continually turning inside of him. And eventually I'm going to catch up to him as he sort of burns his energy away. Got a little shot right there. Managed to take his tail off, and he's done for. So and then I look up, and immediately I got the next customer coming at me. I don't have time to really gain energy. He's flying right at me, so I'm going to angle away a little bit just so I can equalize our energy states a little bit, and so that I can again kind of climb away at 10 degrees, make him run me down while I gain altitude and energy. He's still gonna have me at an energy state, but I am able to pick up a bit more speed, make it equalize a little bit more, make him run me down. So now I'm already at 430, 440. He will eventually catch me, but his inline speed is not so greater than mine that we're pretty much energy state equals at this point. Start my defensive maneuvering. That was the diciest bit right there. If I could survive that head-on merge right there, at this point, I pretty much am going to outperform that 109. He should have actually climbed a little bit more. And I'm just making some good shots on this game too. Well, I say that and then I miss that, but he should have boom and zoomed me. He definitely could have climbed away if he just stayed in a straight line. I'm not very fast, but he committed to the fight. At this point, he realized he's beat, and so he's trying to get away. But again, I'm making pretty good shots at distance here, keeping him dodging, keeping him moving, you know, giving him some damage. And now that crit it pretty much seals the deal. I think it took his wingtip off. At this point, he's really trying to get away. I thought he was going to go in right there, waiting to see the explosion. He managed to pull up, but so I fire a little bit more out at them, and he's done. So I think he just stuck that fight a little too hard. I think he could have climbed and then dove on me, and he would have had a really big, you know, energy advantage on me. But I appreciate it. So that's pretty much it. That's the 5-kill game. We ended up losing on tickets again. That's one of the down that you just can't run anybody down to save tickets. So we ended up losing on tickets again, but it was a good little game, good little ace. So there you go. All right, this is going to be a quick four kill game. This is what I consider more of a typical game. I've hit around 4,800 meters. I'm evaluating the fighters up here. I want to get this Yak 3 out of the game while he's still up high. I want to engage him while he's up high and at altitude and his engine is suffering. Kind of watching him, seeing what he's doing. He ends up taking that line off to the right. I think there is someone, a teammate, maybe a 109 over to the right. So I'm hoping I can sneak up on him. Got him. He starts dodging at this point. But he's just too close to guns. I got to take a good line, set him on fire, severe damage. He's out of the match. At this point, I'm kind of climbing away. That's a little scary. PE-8, freaking missing a wing coming down on you. So I start heading towards this group of fighters, check out that J-21, and then I catch sight of the T-18 below, and he's coming up, and you don't want to snooze on those guys, but give me a quick little pilot snipe on him, take him out of the match. So at this point, we're going to jump forward a little bit. And so now I'm evaluating these 3 fighters. Those are the only 3 fighters still at altitude. I think I'm the only person on my team still at altitude, really. So I know they're going to be kind of coming at me. The Yak 3 appears to be going after the guy on the right, the other guy at altitude. So now I'm kind of see what the 109 and the XP55 are going to be doing. Just trying to create some distance, trying to get some speed. I'm not looking to climb anymore. I'm just looking to see who's going to actually follow me. Start to pull around on that Yak 3 to see if I can go help. When I do that, I finally do notice that the 109 is committing to me. So we turn right back out, get him separated from his buddies. He's coming in at a good clip, but I'm going to equalize the energy here right now. And this is not your YouTube, my video's clipping for it a little bit. So he's coming in pretty good, so I start my dodge at around 800 meters out. He almost had me, like that would have been the time where I would have died. I stay a little tighter spiral and don't dive out like he's diving. He's just compressing so hard, he's got more speed. So I'm keeping my spiral a little tighter, and he should have continued straight here. Instead, he thinks he can go up and over. And so I just follow him up. I still have plenty of speed and take his plane apart. And that's kill number 3. We're going to jump ahead again. And the 4th and final kill of this match is, you know, I could have made it in a Sakine, but I'm going to show it to you anyways because it was the 4th kill of this game. So Got my guys trying to rearm, return to base on the unarmed base. This Yak 3 is about to catch this Pyrmirsky. Pyrmirsky turns around to engage, and I'm just sort of got some altitude hanging out. I'm thinking he's going to push me in a head-on 2. He doesn't. Instead, he turns around for the Yak 3, giving me just this like easiest shot in the game. Take him apart. Like I said, could have made that in the Sakine. But that's it. That's the 4th kill of this match, and kind of your more typical match in the Ki-61. People sort of underestimate your energy retention capabilities, while you also still maintain a pretty good turn.